Alright folks, Adventure for Relics here again with you. And today we're going to do a different batch of relics. This is going to be like varied stuff like cookware, old mining equipment, just a wide array of different relics that I bring home and restore and keep in my collection. So anyway, today I've got with me a guest who has offered to help load the table for me. So we're going to see how this works out, because he's pretty big and he's like a bull in a china shop. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the one, the only, the invincible, the incredible Hulk!
Hulk will help you, the human. Hulk smash!
Alright, Adventure for Relics back at you here. I'm afraid it didn't work out with the Hulk. He took a tantrum and he's left the building. So anyway, we're going to proceed without him, and you'll have to bear with me because I'm going to have to go back to loading the table by myself. Alright, here we go. Opening up here, we've got an old wooden mallet. Back in the day. There. We have an old iron here. Well, get it in focus here a bit. Now I'll bring it to the camera for you. It does have a name on it, but it's, yeah, okay, COOP, COOP. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Better get some more light on the subject here. Let's see here if you can. Yeah, COOP is embossed on the handle of it there. Now this is a little different. I mean, I find sad irons and whatever. I can show you an example of this, but this would be a little later from the sad irons, but still an iron made out of iron. I thought that was pretty cool. Next up, we have an old kid's cap gun here. Still haven't cleaned it up because there is a name on it. No, I'm not going to make it out right now. But anyway, it's got to be cleaned up in a bath of... well, I've had real success in doing these too. I did a couple old train locomotives, iron train locomotives, and cash register and an old airplane. And anyway, what I soaked them in was molasses, and it takes quite a while, mind you. I think the train locomotives took me maybe month and a half, and you just take them out periodically and brush them and then put them back in the solution. I usually do about 60 to 50% ratio water to molasses, but seems to work out. So anyway, there's that guy. Next up, we've got a little toy truck. Now I know it's the worse for wear. It would have said Canada Dry down the side with the decals on it, but nice old steel toy from back in the day. Have to get new wheels, of course, and you know, sand it all down. Actually, what works well on these too is just sandblasting them and then repainting them and getting new wheels or whatever. Well, there's that. Next, I'll put up a few of these small items here. Excuse me for a sec, folks. Alright. Now, next, this is a case for the old type razors. I'll open the case here for you. You can see where the head of the razor would have sat in. Yeah, there. Aim the camera down a bit and you can get a look. But anyway, the razor would have sat in that case, so brought that home. I've got a couple old straight razors that I have to, or not straight razors, excuse me, handheld old razor blades there that I've got to clean up, and I'll put one in the case just for display. Alrighty, next. This is a little brass case. Looks like might have had makeup, with the little squares in it there. Might have had maybe a little mirror in the center, a couple makeup things or whatever, but nice brass case. A little bit of a design on the top of it. And then next, this is pretty cool that these survived. You can see there is some rust on the case there, and the case is crushed on the one side. But you know, this was dug up. This was dug up in the dump. And feast your eyes on those babies. There is an old pair of spectacles. Here, I'll take them out of the case for you. They're very, very fine, so I don't really play around with them much. The wires are really fine on them, but the lenses are still great. The nose guards are still there, so fine example of a real early pair of spectacles. That was pretty cool and different to dig up. Now I gotta get them back in the case here. Hang on, bear with me folks. I'll load the table as fast as I can here. Okay. Okay, next up. Oh, of course it's gonna fall over on me. That's okay. Alrighty, I'll bring them to the camera here for you. Now, this is stamped on the bottom. What these are is crucibles for melting down metal or ore. And on the back, we've got a number 3 Battersea Works. And this is from England. It would have been used for the mining. Here's a little bigger version now. Another little crucible. Jeez, we're not having good luck with the light here, are we? Gotta get this lighting a little better here yet. Okay, anyway, here's another crucible here. This got number 10 on it. Same place again, Battersea, England. Just a different size of crucible. And next, we got a bigger guy here, size F. If you can make that out. Now this says Morgan, England. Still says Battersea, England on the top. You can barely make that out. But anyway, it says Morgan, England, a little lower down. Okay, so there's that. And since we're on mining stuff, let's put up a couple examples of these. I'll grab the first one here. This is all brass. It's all intact, but it has to be worked on, straightened out and everything. There's the igniter, or where your little flint would have been here. Your wheel. Your fuel in the bottom. And there's your filler cap up here at the top. And your little clip. And for our name here, we've got oh boy, I guess I should have cleaned this a little better here, right? Okay, hang on a minute here. Just trial. Yeah, we got a TRILE, or it might be an N. Justine, made in the USA. And anyway, that's a nice example of a brass old mining lantern. And next we have a bigger guy here. The original cap's gone off it. The little igniter and the shields there, and the fuel tank, and of course once again it's going to have to be put to soak and brought back to its former glory. Next up, we've got here what I believe to be a handheld old school bell, brass school bell. When I had the handle up here, the bell is gone of course, and you can see it's squished out of shape. Well, it's going to have to be brought back into shape, but pretty cool little bell. Actually too, it might have been on a door too, or in a store, you know, the little bell, you'd enter the door and it would ring, so possibly could be that, but it looks more like a school bell. It has the right size to it. Anyway, that's that. Next, we've got there. Now, this is an old tobacco tin. I put it to soak in the lemon juice, and got lucky enough the one side come up for a stream. Got a picture of mallard ducks on it. Or, excuse me, a mallard duck on it. And now you can see from soaking it, like there's the original lid, but look at the perforations on the back of it. So, but just for display purposes, it's a survivor and it cleaned up okay. Moving on here. Next we got a condom container here, a tin condom container. Merry Widows. It says down here, I don't know if it's Mattel and Becky or what. No, and there's another name there. So there's 3 names for the company or whatever. Nothing on the back of it. Once again, we have a little compact. Did have a name on it, but after I soaked it, it was gone. It's still, the little latch still works here. Hang on a minute. There. I'll open that up for you. You know, would have had a mirror, and or either that or maybe a makeup in it and just a pad or whatever. So anyway, that's that. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a minute here, and we'll get some more relics ready. Alright, let's move on with some enamelware here now. First up, got an old enamelware plate. Going to have to be redone. All I do is use like an epoxy where the rust areas are, and then fill it in, sand it, and repaint it. Next up, we got an old bed pan. And next, a little enamel blue pot here. Little cooking pot. Next up, I didn't find the lid for it, but this is an old enamelware lunch bucket. Where the handle would have been. Needs some repair, of course, too. Oh, example of that. And here's another enamelware dish or pot. Handle on the side of it. Next up, we've got an old spittoon. Spitting your chewing tobacco in. We're going to restore this guy. Next up, load the table here. Okay, next up we've got an old canteen here. This is really cool. I don't have a lid, but we'll find one, but I'm going to restore that. Hang on a minute. We haven't get some better lighting on this here. Like an army green, dark army green color. Well, that's an old canteen. Next we've got a little tin tea strainer. Strain your tea bags in. And next we got a little tin ladle, most likely used for dipping in a water bucket or whatever. Okay. Table loaded again here. Alright. There, now we've got a little Enamelware kids cup. Next, got a little creamer here. Or, well, I don't know, possibly maybe even just for tea too. I'm not too sure about this guy. But anyway, it's another piece that I want to restore and different. And last but not least, another little Enamelware cup. Pretty good shape. It's going to be put the epoxy to her and repaint her and go into my collection. Okay, that's those. Next. These are always nice to do for crafts and that. They're ceramic, old ceramic doorknobs. A nice brown one here. Let's see if I can aim this down here. Maybe we can get a little better lighting. And we've got a black one. The hardware is still on it. And last but not least, we've got a white one. Next up, we got a little pewter salt shaker here. Cleaned up pretty nice. Still going to need a little restoration. Next up, we've got a piece of lead. Quite decorative though. Would have been off, you know, a piece of. Would have been off a piece of furniture. That was pretty cool. This was from another little locket. I've got the bottom ring and the top ring, but the bottom part is of the glass is broken. But really nice scene on it. Hang on a minute. This light is not. It's not doing it no justice here, are we? No. No, you can't see that. I'm going to try moving in here a little bit. Hang on, folks. See if we can get this in better. It'll focus, just so you can see the scene. Beautiful, you know, sort of Greek type scene on it. Pretty cool. Next. Oh yeah, next up here we'll do these. And now next up we have an old scythe here, hand scythe, for bringing in crops or cutting grass or what have you. Needs some restoration too. There's your wooden handle. Sorry. Next up, we got a couple old Enamelware ashtrays. This says Molson's Porter Ale, so it has to be redone. And now, here's an example that has been redone. Labatt's Lager Stout. They come up nice. And old candy tin from England. Yeah, it's embossed here. Hang on a minute. Let's see whether we can get focused on this or not. Let's see here. No, hang on a minute. Let's see if we can see this. County of Durham, Chester Street, Makers of Good Sweets, George W. Horner Company. Made in England. There, it's focusing on it now a bit, eh? Well, it was anyway. But anyway, it's an old scene of Niagara Falls. I don't know if it's getting washed out or not. There it is a bit, I guess. But anyway, nice survivor. And next up, put a few more items up here. Okay, now next we have a little, used to have these as kids or get them in our sock at Christmas time. It's got a mountie inside, just a plastic globe with sparkles and the water in it. Don't know if, I guess you can't make out the mountie. I'm going to have to take this apart and polish the glass, but anyway. Next we got a real old toothbrush here. Don't know if it'll focus on the maker or not. Mini no, I can't make it out. Anyway, a little toothbrush. Next we got a little Anison tin, cleaned up nice. And I used to use these as a kid. Watercolor paint box, and it's got a scene from the zoo on it with the family visiting the zoo. It cleaned up nice. This was just totally encrusted with rust. So I'm going to use this for an art project of some kind. Alright, so we'll let you go for now and come back with you and show you some different type of relics again.